hardly think so. Frankly, this is tedious and very immature. Give me the wand! Give me the wand!
Hold on, Mal. Maybe good really is more powerful than evil.
Disney has officially announced Descendants 5. The Descendants franchise first kicked off in 2015, introducing us to the teenage kids of famous Disney villains like Maleficent and the Evil Queen. Since then, we've had 3 sequels: Descendants 2, Descendants 3, and Descendants: The Rise of Red. The series has been a huge hit, packed with catchy musical numbers and performances from stars like Dove Cameron, Boyce, Sofia Carson, BooBoo Stewart, Rita Ora, Kristen Chenoweth, Melanie Paxson, and Kathy Najimy. Now that Descendants 5 is officially happening, let's dive into everything we know so far. According to Deadline, production on Descendants 5 is starting soon, with Kylie Cantrall, Malia Baker, and Leonardo Nam reprising their roles. This time, the story will mostly take place in a modern-day version of Wonderland. Alongside the returning cast, we'll also see some new faces, including Liamani Segura, Brendan Tremblay, Alexandro Bird, and Kiara Romero. The movie will dive into whether Red and Chloe actually get their happily ever after following the rise of Red and how their choices have affected the very fabric of time. So what does all of this mean for the Descendants franchise? Well, it looks like Descendants 5 is diving deep into Wonderland. Along with confirming new cast members, Disney has also revealed who they'll be playing. Segura is stepping in as Pink, the sister of Red, played by Kylie Cantrall, while Nam's Maddox, the Mad Hatter's son, is getting a sibling too, played by Tremblay. Meanwhile, Bird is taking on the role of Luis Madrigal, the son of Encanto's Luisa, and Romero will play Hazel Hook, daughter of the infamous Captain Hook. With these new additions, it's clear that Descendants 5 is expanding its universe in 2 big ways. First, by fleshing out existing family dynamics, and second, by pulling in characters from beyond the classic Disney fairy tales. Red and Maddox getting siblings opens up new story possibilities, allowing the film to explore themes of family and identity, which have always been a core part of the franchise. And since the story is set in Wonderland, it only makes sense that the Alice in Wonderland descendants will take center stage this time around. But the most interesting twist? Descendants 5 is officially branching out into Pixar territory. With Luis Madrigal in the mix, Disney is proving that Descendants is no longer just about reimagining classic animated villains, it's about blending its entire animated legacy. This means we could see even more crossover with newer Disney and Pixar properties in the future. Imagine a Descendants character linked to Coco, Frozen, or even Turning Red. The possibilities are endless, and Disney certainly knows it. If anything, Descendants 5 feels like less of the end of the franchise and more like a stepping stone to something even bigger. The introduction of newer characters suggests Disney is keeping the door wide open for future sequels, spin-offs, or even a full-blown Descendants cinematic universe. Considering how much they're already expanding the world, it's safe to say they're not done milking this franchise just yet. With Descendants 5 expanding its roster and introducing new characters from both classic and modern Disney films, it raises an exciting question. What other unexpected villains could the franchise bring in next? While previous movies have already showcased the children of iconic Disney villains like Maleficent, the Evil Queen, Jafar, and Hades, there are still plenty of untapped antagonists waiting for their moment. If we look at Descendants canon, including its books and comics, there are several villains whose children have already been introduced in the extended universe but have yet to appear in the films. One major villain who has yet to make his on-screen debut is Dr. Facilier from The Princess and the Frog. While Descendants 3 introduced his daughter, Celia, the Shadow Man himself, never appeared in the films. However, he does exist in Descendants books and comics where he continues practicing dark magic. Given how popular The Princess and the Frog remains, Descendants 5 could finally bring him into the movies. His inclusion would make sense now that Disney is pulling characters from both older and newer films. Plus, since the franchise loves musical numbers, Dr. Facilier would be a perfect addition as he is known for one of the most iconic villain songs in Disney history. Another interesting choice is Yzma from The Emperor's New Groove. She is one of Disney's funniest and most eccentric villains, and her son Zavon has already appeared in Descendants comics. Zavon caused trouble for Mal and her friends in Return to the Isle of the Lost, but he has never been seen in the films. Since The Emperor's New Groove is a cult classic, Descendants 5 could give it some much-needed representation by bringing Yzma or Zavon into the movie. Her obsession with potions and transformations would be a fun addition, especially in a Wonderland setting where reality is already unpredictable. A darker option for Descendants 5 could be the Horned King from the Black Cauldron. Though not one of Disney's most mainstream villains, he has a devoted cult following and is considered one of the darkest villains Disney has ever created. He was mentioned in the Descendants books as one of the villains imprisoned on the Isle of the Lost, but his child has never been introduced. If Descendants 5 wants to add a gothic and eerie presence to the story, a descendant of the Horned King could provide a new type of magic, one rooted in necromancy and ancient curses. Shan Yu from Mulan is another Disney villain whose child exists in the Descendants novels but has never appeared in the films. His son Ransom was introduced in The Isle of the Lost, a Descendants novel, but fans have yet to see him in action. Given how beloved Mulan is, Descendants 5 could finally bring Ransom into the live-action storyline. His presence would add an interesting warrior element to the film, offering a different dynamic from the usual magic-wielding villains. Mother Gothel from Tangled is another major Disney villain who has yet to be featured in the Descendants movies, despite being mentioned in the books. In the extended universe, she has a daughter named Ginny Gothel, who is known for her cunning and manipulative nature. With Tangled still being a major part of Disney's brand, Descendants 5 could introduce Ginny as a new character, bringing Mother Gothel's deception and vanity into the mix. Her ability to use charm and persuasion could make her a compelling antagonist in a Wonderland setting where illusion and trickery are already at play. One of Disney's most underrated villains is Professor Ratigan from The Great Mouse Detective. Though not as well known as other Disney villains, he was a mastermind in his original film. His son Ricky Rat exists in the Descendants books and is known for his cleverness, disguise skills, and manipulative nature. If introduced in Descendants 5, Ricky could bring a fresh element of criminal genius to the franchise, providing a different type of antagonist who relies on wit rather than brute force or magic. With Descendants 5 already pulling characters from newer films like Encanto, it's clear that Disney wants to keep expanding the franchise. By introducing villains and their children who have been mentioned in the Descendants books and comics but never seen on screen, the movie has an opportunity to surprise fans while still staying true to its established universe. If Disney continues digging into its lesser-used villains, Descendants 5 could introduce fresh conflicts and dynamics that set the stage for even more sequels. Given how the franchise continues to evolve, this film is unlikely to be the last, especially with so many untapped Disney characters still waiting for their turn in the spotlight. And that's all we know about the upcoming movie. Thanks for watching, and if something more comes out, then you'll know it. We will keep you updated, and so if you just give us a thumbs up to my channel and hit that subscribe button, we will appreciate that much more, and we will see you in the next one.